My name is Suzanne Lee, and I guess a mother. I was a stay-at-home mom for over 18 years. I'm still a stay-at-home mom, but I do real estate on the side. And I'm a divorcee, but I am remarried. And I also recently had an idea to start a nonprofit with some of my friends, and we are really working to help domestic violence survivors because I'm a survivor myself, and it's been a very, very long and interesting journey. My mom and dad, they did not have the best relationship. My father was very abusive physically. I have a lot of memories of me like hiding in closets, hiding under the bed. I put blankets over myself in the closet just in case I would get seen. So he was physically abusive, not only to me and my brother and sister. It was in elementary school. By fifth grade, I was pulling out my hair, and I had bald patches in my head. And I got made fun of a lot, but I couldn't control it. And the school guidance counselor, I think, reached out to my parents. They wanted me to probably get therapy or something, and they ignored. I guess in Korean culture, it's kind of like stay quiet, or you'll bring shame. Like, I don't remember much more beyond that, except as I got older and middle school, I started getting a lot more issues with like body image. I used to like cut myself. I didn't know why. My dad had moved to Korea at that time because of work. He started working again in Korea. So my mom was here, and we had a dry cleaners. My brother and sister had already gone to college, and she was with me, and I don't think she was handling the stress of me being rebellious. I was becoming more rebellious. So then my mom decided to send me to Korea. So then I lived in Korea, and the abuse got very bad. So there was like this one very bad. He wanted to cut my hair. So then he took scissors, and I have a scar here from that. Get better, but I just remember feeling like so helpless, and my mom wasn't there. And I remember just lying there for days. It was painful. My mom, she promised that she was going to move to Korea. And then she came and she couldn't handle it. But I also understood, because she was getting abused as well. That was how I grew up. But then I think that also caused me to have an unhealthy relationship with men in general. One of my ex-boyfriends, we lived together for about 2 years, and he punched me and choked me. And at the end, I didn't want to be in a relationship, so I ended it. But I don't think I had a very high self-esteem about myself. I don't think I was never single. Like, ever since high school, I had nonstop dependency on men. And I just thought it was normal. Like, I think now reflecting back, it may have something to do with feeling something lacking from my dad, or, craving that attention. I always wanted to be taken care of. Then I would turn to people, and I would say I had a tumultuous time in my 20s. But then I met my ex-husband, and he seemed so nice, Christian. I got married young. I think I was 26, and we had dated for about 4 years before that. And then I got pregnant when I was 27. I started noticing things in my relationship with my ex-husband where I started feeling confused. As the years went on, like there were lies. He made a lot of empty promises, which that was just part of why I started distancing. He started making fun of me in front of the kids, and then like things like, oh, big mama, make me feel like fat. And then the kids would also be like, huh, big mama. I asked him not to do things like that, but it was just, there's no point. My words didn't go anywhere. Like if I would cry and he made gestures that were just making fun of me, like just making fun of me a lot. And at a certain point, I didn't want any intimacy with him anymore. Then he decided that he would keep, touch me. And I know that doesn't sound like anything, but it was just torture every day, and a lot of inappropriate behavior. I felt very used and not respected for my body. Like I had no control over. Even though I cried and I begged him. I remember one time my son, I think he was in elementary school. I would very loudly in front of the kids be like, please stop, you know? And so my son told him one day, he's like, Dad, mom wants you to stop. Like, don't touch her. And it would happen like if even when we're sitting in church, like, and especially in front of other people. I think it was because he knew I wasn't going to say anything, because I'm being quiet. But then after a few years of that kind of, I think I was going a little crazy. I started being in my room most of the time. My kids, I tried the best that I could. I volunteered at school. I still took them out and made sure that they had their play dates. And, I really, because I wanted to be the opposite of how I grew up. So I wanted so hard. I wanted our family to be intact. I wanted it to become better. But I couldn't control that. I had no control over how I felt. And now looking back, I realized that I have a hard time with boundaries. And as things got bad with my ex-husband, I did ask him to do marriage counseling. And I remember this was 5-6 years into the marriage, and we went, and as we shared with the therapist, she actually said, not all marriages are meant to be in marriage counseling. That doesn't mean it's going to fix all the marriage, and I don't recommend for people to stay married. It was a very strange conversation because the idea came into my head that, oh, maybe she's saying we shouldn't be together. Maybe it's healthier if we're not together. There was another therapist we saw. She was the first one who said to my ex-husband, do you see why your wife is maybe disgusted by you? I was just surprised. And I think as the sessions went on, she got worried about me. She was thinking I'm having suicidal thoughts, which maybe I did. And she started coaching me a little bit. Now I realize she was coaching me without directly telling me what to do or what to say, but it was more her making me realize things for myself. Remember, she said, I want you to imagine you're in a house, an apartment with your kids, and you're comfortable. You're not scared. You don't have to be in your room. And I want you to imagine that and think about how that would feel. And I'll always remember that because that was the first time I really, really wanted that. Like I really, really wanted that. Where I could just be like comfortable in my own home and be with my kids. So as I gathered enough strength, I was going on this journey, and I luckily had a very, very, very close friend who really helped walk alongside me without any judgment. I don't actually think I could have done anything on my own, especially even going to therapy. My friend would pick me up and drive me and wait there. That's how much I felt so disabled. And the fact that, my friend, anything that I needed or I wanted to talk about, she would be there. Just that actual feeling of support where I'm not downplaying, prayers and words of encouragement, but it was the action of physically taking me to therapy. And I know that not everybody is able to do this, right? But I think for me in my journey, she definitely helped. And my mom as well, when I told her I need to leave, I can't do this anymore, she was able to provide housing for me. She bought a house in the same neighborhood that that I was living in currently, which allowed me to have my kids comfortably go to school. Just that safety of financial security. I mean, it wasn't perfect. I still had to look for a job, which was another challenge. But yeah, without my mom's help as well with housing, the basic thing, I probably would not be here today. So I think the biggest impact is when you have real support, like tangible support. Like I finally feel like myself now. I'm not living in fear anymore. And I can finally be proud of myself for being able to overcome all these obstacles to get to where I am today. I got through it and I'm in a good place. And I would never have thought 5 years from now where I am today because I was so scared. It takes time and I'm still healing. Nothing's perfect. I get triggered very easily. I have to co-parent with my ex-husband, which is challenging. But at the end of the day, I hope this can help encourage people. Luckily, well, I am remarried and I am in a much better position and place and to be able to focus my efforts in domestic violence and helping other victims. And I'm almost like I'm 47 now. Like I finally, after so many decades, I'm feeling the best I've ever felt. And this is why I am able to somehow, if I can help one or two people, that's what I want to do. And the focus on the counseling at first that was what helped empower me to even realize that I need to get out or this is not okay. Because sometimes I think it's hard to move beyond even thinking divorce or getting out of an abusive relationship. So I think that's what made me want to work on this nonprofit. KAEA stands for Korean American Empowerment Alliance, but we like the empowerment part because without empowerment, it's hard to get out of a situation or, feeling empowered is so important. And alliance, it's about coming together. You're not alone. It's an alliance. So the organization is so new. We're just taking baby steps to help in any way that we can. And what I guess counseling for me started this journey of healing. I guess that was the first focus I felt, and we could actually do something about, and help raise money to provide that for free, whether or not you can afford it, and the lawyers for understanding what process you have to go through. It can be very costly. So if there's any way to help, like that's what KAEA was formed to do. There are people who may not have help as much as I did, but that's why I wanted to do this and somehow help or be the support. I would say it's not your fault. It's not your fault. You did nothing wrong, and you're not alone. There are people who will understand you. I think it's important to reach out to someone you may feel safe with. I think that's why therapy is really important, to get those lies that you're being told, or the shame that you're feeling that's keeping you scared. And it is scary. Like, change is scary. Major changes in life. But there are survivors who have gotten to a better place. It's possible. It may not feel like it right now, but it is possible. It may not be easy. It's probably most likely not going to be easy at all. But to feel free and safe and comfortable is like the best feeling. And it will make you want to live more.